Hello everyone. I am Faraz Siddiqui representing BioFootprints, a society which aims at science promotion and popularization. Today we have a very special guest with us, who is no less than a milestone in the field he steps in. His innovations and inventions are just a tiny show of what he really is. Nothing less than excellence and a big image of motivation and hard work. With this, I would like to welcome Dr. Pankaj Garg. So it's brilliant to have you here, and it's a pleasure, really.
Thank you.
So a few
Thank you,
words
dear.
about yes, thank you so much. And it's been warm talking to you throughout. And I'll just give a brief introduction about you. So Dr. Garg did his MBBS from AIMS, New Delhi, and he pursued his MS from the same institute. And back in 2008, he established the Garg Fistula Research Center, which is GFRI, which is an exclusive center for anal fistulas, and became a pioneer research institute in the same field over the last decade. His list of achievements is long and ever evolving, so we'll try to highlight some of them here. So he has innovated 27 new procedures and treatment concepts, certified as doctor with maximum inventions in the world by several prestigious record books. He has treated patients from over 40 countries in the last 5 years, which include USA, UK, and Canada. Maximum work and maximum publications on anal fistula in the world. Bestowed prestigious awards by topmost American surgical societies, International Young Investigator Award by Society of American GI Endoscopic Surgeons. Topmost Science Awards, Haryana Yuva Vigyan Ratan Award, highest award of science and technology in the state of Haryana, given by CM of Haryana, Shri Manohar Lal Khattar. So just some highlights of the Research Institute as well. Largest series of anal fistula in medical literature, largest series of preoperative and postoperative MRI in anal fistulas, largest series of anorectal tuberculosis. As I have said, the list is never ending and he's still evolving, he's still achieving more and more. I will not waste a lot more time of you and I will just hand over the dais to you and allow you to tell us about yourself, tell us about your work and make us or give us a path that we or everyone can follow ahead. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Faraz, and thank you, Sujata, for giving me this opportunity to speak some of my experiences, which I would like to share, which can, I think, which have motivated me and which can motivate young, upcoming clinicians, researchers, dedicated professionals. So I will just share some of my experiences with you. And so let's start. And okay. So this is my favorite quote. Anything done with passion becomes an art. So I will take some of your time and just elaborate on this quote. So this quote has few words. So let's dissect the words. The last word is art. What is an art? Like if someone asks me, define an art, how will you define an art? Is a painting done like Mona Lisa is an art? Or so let's say only the Qutub Minar or a Taj Mahal is an art? I would beg to differ. What is art then? In my opinion, art has only three letters, has equivalent three letters. Anything which invokes wow. It can be anything. That is an art. In my opinion, that is an art. So one should not look at an art as a piece of paper or a piece of sculpture as we are traditionally taught. Art means anything can be an art, be it gardening, be it anything. Anything which invokes wow factor. The way Tendulkar hits the shot, the way Messi hits through the goal. Anything can which makes you wow, this is phenomenal. And you are like mouth is open, your jaws are dropping, that is an art. Now, anything. This is important because many people think that only the artists can do art and we cannot do art. But in this quote, this is one of the very important words. Anything can become an art. That we need to realize that in our life, irrespective of what we do, irrespective what the other person is doing, irrespective of the circumstances, anything can become an art. So every human being is an artist. He has a talent. He has a talent of turning something into an art. So the most important thing is, rather than whatever has been dropped on you, that you have to do this, fine, you are working somewhere, you may not like it, or you are in some field, but discover the artist in you. I cease to believe, I don't believe that every human born on this planet doesn't have a talent which can make him an artist. So the onus is on every human being to discover that what talent he has. And even if you don't have to look for a talent, I will come to it. You can turn anything into an art, even at a higher level. Think slightly deeper. You don't have to have a talent. I will come to it, what you need to have. So you can turn anything into an art. So that is the most important thing, that you have to take out the artist from within and turn that anything into an art. But you have to create an art. That is the bottom line. Every human being has to be an artist. That is the message I want to convey. So always thrive, always long to do an art, to be an artist. That is the key. My favorite story, one of my favorite examples, Abraham John Lincoln became President of America in 1860 and 1859 after a great struggle. And he was from a very humble background. So when he became president, obviously, a lot of people, nobles and people from clergy were not happy. So as he stood to give his first lecture or speech in the Congress, one of the reputed congressmen stood up. Before Lincoln could utter a word, he said, "Mr. Lincoln, your father was a shoemaker, and he used to make shoes for my father." The whole Congress was in uproar, and there were more than half people were laughing at Lincoln. Look, what kind of president we have. But the people like Lincoln, they were Lincoln because they were made differently. Lincoln just took a deep breath and said, "Yes, my father was a shoemaker. But may I add and tell you something more, which you perhaps might not be knowing? When my father used to make shoes, he used to put his everything into making shoes. That was his passion. He used to love making shoes. And when he used to make shoes, his soul used to be there into the shoes. His body was there. His everything was there in making the shoes. And I was a small kid and I used to love watching my father making the shoes. And once my father used to make the shoes, the person who would wear them would always praise my father like anything. And he would never ever go to anyone else throughout his life. And my father was such an artist. He was not a shoemaker. He was an artist that even I learned making shoes from him just by standing near him. And my dear congressman, if even today your father has a problem with his shoes, please bring him to me. I will mend his shoes. I have that much experience just by standing and looking at my father. He was not a shoemaker. He was an artist. Everyone was dumbstruck. They could never expect such a response, and he was speaking truth. So that was the passion. That was the thing, that irrespective of what you do, anything can be made into an art. The second great example is right in our country. There was a young man, and in 1983 he was born. He was born and in a slum dweller. At the age of 11, he had nothing to eat. And at the age of 13, he went in front of the railway track to commit suicide. But somehow people saw him and saved him. He used to live in Puri. He knew nothing. He was uneducated. He had no one in his family and he has no money. But then he thought, why not whatever I do with passion. I do with great energy. So he used to make sculptures with sand on the beach, Puri beach. So he started making them. Slowly and slowly and slowly, people used to gather around and he started excelling in it. He used to put his whole day into that activity. And as time passed by, he became well known in the area. Anyone going to Puri beach would come and stand and look at his sculptures. And since the area was less, so he would remove those sculptures and make new one. And slowly, this guy became a national celebrity. And slowly, he became an international celebrity. Yes, Sudarshan Patnaik got Padma Shri in 2014 at the age of 37, one of the very younger recipients to get a Padma Shri. And after that, the list is endless. American awards, British awards, European awards. Can someone believe that a guy who has nothing, no education, no background, no training, absolutely zero on all fronts, and look today, he's far more accomplished. That underlines the importance of anything. And before Sudarshan Patnaik, anyone could have thought that just making sculptures from sand could even get you a bread for 2 times? No one would have even thought of it. So this is the value of anything. So don't ever underestimate any work. Anything means anything, any work can make you an artist. Now come the passion. This is the most important word. If anything and art were important, this is the lifeline. Because passion is the thing which has the power to make anything plus passion is equal to art. So passion is the most important word. Here, if we remove passion, the quote has no meaning. So anything plus passion equals art. So because passion is something, if you have passion for your work or the work you are doing, it just propels you. It makes work effortless. It makes you, rather than you doing anything, it pushes you, it propels you, it like you fly towards your goal. It is that power, passion. There is a very common joke, like the aeroplane at its highest speed can go at 900 kilometers per hour, maybe 950 kilometers per hour. On the other hand, rocket can go up to 30,000, 40,000 kilometers per hour, even higher. So aeroplane asked that, what's that? What makes you run so faster? I am also a plane, you are also a plane. He said, when there's a fire behind you, you can't stop. But that fire is passion. So when there's a passion in your heart, there's a fire behind you, you just fly. You don't even know what speed you are flying. So that is the value and that is the greatness of passion. I will share my brief experience about with you. I passed out from AIIMS in 1999 and I joined private practice in Chandigarh in 2000. I was doing okay, good in practice, but I always had a dream that I want to write a research article. I used to see people around me having articles published, their name on PubMed. So, but since the circumstances were like that, I couldn't do that. I had to come for my parents to Chandigarh and start practice early. So by 2005, the fire instead of diminishing, became more and more. And I then thought, let me write a case report. Case report is the smallest thing you can do. I wrote a case report, but I didn't have the courage to submit it to the first point of contact, Indian Journal of Surgery. And for 1 year, that case report was lying in my cupboard, and I couldn't submit it. I didn't have the courage. And then I submitted it next year, and the kind of reviews I got was, is this a scientific article? Please get your article corrected by English speaking colleague. Do some good course in paper writing. And then it was such a discouraging thing. I thought I should perhaps stop. But then somehow things changed, and I went to US that I want to learn research. And I spent 4 weeks there in University of California, Irvine. And there the barricades were broken, because there I realized that people who are doing research and publishing the topmost journals, not the Indian Journal of Surgery, they were very ordinary humans like I was. So then that was the barricade, the biggest thing which was holding me down, that I can't do it. My God, I said, if they can do it, I can do it. And so I thought that my biggest enemy was my thinking, which was holding me down. I can't send paper to Indian Journal of Surgery. So if that thing which was holding me down, once that was gone, I returned back from US in 2008, but without the barricades, which were holding me. And believe me, that changed my life. And because before that, I had 100 reasons not to write a paper. Because when you are a place like AIIMS or PGI, you have a big institution tag. You write a department of 5 people, 5 consultant friends, you write one article, write their names, they write article, they write your name. So you have 5 articles when you write one article. You have grants and funding for research. The most important thing, you have ensured patient availability. You want to do research in, let's say, one rare disease, and you have 50 patients the next day available to you. But in practice, just to have, everyone is striving just to have patients and leave aside research. And then there's no logistics like materials, travel grants, and there are no, you are the intern, you are the resident, you are the full officer, you are the senior resident, you are the assistant professor, you are the professor, and you are the head of department. Right from paper writing to literature research, everything you have to do. So I had all the reasons not to write a paper, but there was only one reason to write a paper: the passion. And I continued. And the best thing was, in 2014, my name was nominated for Bhatnagar Award. But I had only 5 years of research. But what I didn't get it. But the thing I want to share with the slide which was shared while sharing on Bhatnagar Award was that people with whom Pankaj Garg is competing has everything, but yet it went up to the last stage. And the best part was that you were able to compete with the best of guys who had everything and you had nothing. That didn't make any difference. So now the thing is that I am submitting just 3 months back the top post journal in radiology, one of the top post journal. Look at this. Dear Dr. Garg, congratulations on submitting an exceptional manuscript. That's from chief editor. And these are the things which are routine now. One of the very good things which happened was one of the biggest associations of surgeons in India is Indian Association of GI Endoscopic Surgeons. So this year they gave award of the best researcher who has done best and maximum research in year 2020. So it was a cash award of rupees 1 lakh. It was given in May. And the satisfying part was that you see your name above your alma mater. AIIMS Delhi, my teacher, Professor Sandeep was number 2. Then AIIMS Jodhpur was number 3. And GEM Hospital Coimbatore was number 4. But this was very satisfying. So that is what passion leads you to. And now I could, because I started writing papers, things started coming by. So I have 27 innovations. So this Limca book have also recorded, I received the certificate that maximum innovations by any doctor in the world. And it is under consideration in Guinness Book of World Record. And this is something because you are doing research passionately, so ideas keep flowing and you are able to write them. The most important, the easiest thing which happens is that the aims of life, aims, big aims, which look so high, which look like you are sitting at the ground level and the aims are at the Mount Everest. Once you have passion, either you rise to the Mount Everest level or aims descend to your level. Believe me, the passion has the power to make it happen. That aims descend to your level. So I always tell the researchers that every researchers whosoever is into medical paper writing, goal should be at least one publication in New England Journal of Medicine, which is the highest ranking medical journal in the world. But this aim, I'm a colorectal surgeon, having a publication in a medical journal looks like a too high, kind of a stupid aim. But no, no aim is stupid. Once your passion, go for it. So I routinely take lectures how to write scientific papers, and I always share the concept of NEGM babies. What is NEGM babies? The last slide in the lectures which I take is that after telling that all these in 13 years that you have 27 innovations, 100 publications, so many citations, this, that, these are not the achievements you have. The best achievement is 16 rejections from NEGM. Because that makes it the worthwhile achievement. That even being a colorectal surgeon, you tend to try something which is impossible. So you don't consider impossible as impossible. That is the important lesson. So if I put top the 6 things given on the top, these ones, I will put this achievement as a better one, which is heavier than all of them. And you know, and what is NEGM babies? So the 16 papers I submitted, those were mostly not my area, but I thought of those ideas just so that I could publish in NEGM. And in COVID, you see, there are a couple of papers on COVID, new concepts in COVID, and they got published now. And so these I call them as NEGM babies, because these are the papers which were meant for NEGM, didn't get NEGM, so but they got published somewhere else. And so I named them as NEGM babies. So then becomes an art. The most important thing, not the most, the very important thing, that it has to be become. Passion is there, it propels you, but you have to do the hard work. So there's no substitute for that. Passion gives you the strength. Once you have the aim, that gives you the direction, but hard work has to be done. So you don't have to think of something extraordinary, something beyond work, as I earlier explained. Whatever you do, you can make it to an next art. That is the beauty of it. You don't have to search for that. I will do search something new and then I will make it into an art. Whatever you do, there was a chef, he started making things, and he's a celebrity now. There's a hair cutter, and now he's a brand. So we see brands in every field. So you can make your work into an art. I was talking to some other guy, I said, what is the difference between a client and a fan? Everyone has clients, but when you do your work with passion and turn it to an art, those very clients become your fans. Same thing applies everywhere. Once you do your work with passion and do hard work, your work, whatever you do, you are an architect, you are whatever, your work becomes an art and your client become your fans. I started fistula surgery. It was a non-glamorous surgery. It was an area of quacks. I was doing all laparoscopic surgery and all general surgery till 2011. Then somehow I had to take a difficult decision, because if you have to excel, you have to leave everything rather than increasing your work. So I left everything, all laparoscopic. My friend told me, look, this is field of quacks, non-glamorous. I said, doesn't matter. If I does with passion, even the non-glamorous thing might become glamorous. And today we are ranked number 1 in Asia, number 3 in world. There's a website, and all over the world people are coming to us that Dr. Garg, we want to learn from you. So that's the value, that nothing is non-glamorous, nothing is that this work is deserves or below my dignity. So last, what is GQ21? Well, I write quotes. So this is the 21st quote which I wrote. So this is GQ21, and just sharing, first quote which I wrote was way back in 2000, I think 5. I am just one idea away from Nobel Prize, and so is everyone else. So it's all a matter of idea. Keep your mind open, and believe me, everything is possible, achievable. And before I finish, one of the another and very interesting stories which is very close to my heart. This you see is a box. This box has a ball, and these are the points. This box was designed by Sir Godfrey Hounsfield. He was a radar specialist in Royal Air Force in Second World War. So when Second World War ended, he had nothing to do. He joined Air Force for some time, helps in weapon development team, this, that, and then came the computers. He started working in computers. Then he was taking a stroll. He was not related to medical field. And he just came to know there's a thing called X-ray. So he thought that if there's an X-ray, this is an X-ray machine. He made a diagram on a paper, and this is a box that if we put something in the box, and X-ray, what it does, it compresses the 3-dimensional thing into a 2-dimensional thing. That if I do X-rays from multiple points all around, and if computers have come, they can synthesize it and reconstruct that image into a 3-dimensional image, then maybe we can see what's inside the box. And that's what he started working on. In 1969, he made the first CT scan machine. And he first put some preserved brain, and he could see inside. And then he put a cow's brain, and then he did a CT scan on himself, and he showed what's inside him. And in 1971, the CT scan was available for use in medical practice, and for head. In 1975, the whole body CT scan was available. In 1979, he shared Nobel Prize for Medicine. A guy who's into radars, he got Nobel Prize for Medicine, Sir Godfrey Hounsfield. And the best part is, not only that, the best part is, today, the units on CT scan is a black and white machine. So some tissues are white, some are less white, some are gray, some are blackish, some are jet black. So they are given units. The bone is a dense white thing, the maximum white possible on CT scan, it's given plus 1000. And air is maximum negative because it's jet black, it's given minus 1000. And rest all tissues like blood will be something else, so that radiologists can see what the tissue is. So their numbers are given. They're called 300 HU, 320 HU, and HU stands for Hounsfield units. Every radiologist take the name of Hounsfield 1000 times a day all over the world. That is the power of innovation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Garg. First of all, it was very inspiring. The whole journey or the whole point of passion that you presented us with the passion you presented us with, it's mesmerizing and it's a very good learning experience.
Thank you so much.
I am very thankful, and I am And I'm sure a lot of people who will see this, go through this, a lot of people who would be struggling even would find their passion and go on with it. So thank you. Thank you. Really thank you. And by behalf of
pleasure.
Bio Footprints, I would like to thank you. Thank you so much.
Great. See you. Bye. Take care.